What's going on, guys? This is part 2, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird on the Letterman show. It has been definitely not disappointing at all. I'm loving this so much. So let's get to part 2. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. I'm enjoying having all you guys around. Let's get it.
I mean, I was like her favorite player, and I said, okay.
It gets worse and worse.
So now I'm really sitting in the seat now. I'm waiting for lunch now because I feel good. But at the end of the day, what happened was we found out we were much alike. Midwest boys, grew up poor, hard-working families, had the same values, and I got to know Larry the man, and he got to know Irvin the man.
Now, did things change for you that day as well?
Yeah, I've always respected my opponents and him greatly because of the fact that he was so good. Everybody always said there's a hate element to it, and there never was a hate. It's just that I had so much respect for him.
It's competition at its finest point, isn't it?
Yeah, and you never let your guard down. And he was so good, and I was trying to, I used to have this thing in my head in the summer. I go shoot 700 jump shots that day, and I get ready to leave, and I go, God, I know he's shooting 800. And it dropped me back out there. So it was mind games too, but I always respected him and his teammates, and we had great teams, and it's just unfortunate that we got cheated in a lot of them games in the playoffs.
Cheated. Cheated. I think we're talking about that episode where you guys did the commercial and you had lunch and so forth. I think I remember from the documentary that said that you really liked Irvin. You were less fond of Magic. Is that a correct? And what does it mean?
Well, Irvin the man's one thing, but Irvin the basketball player, I had a little problem with him. It ended, of course,
He couldn't stand that Magic guy. He did not like that Magic guy, man. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. We need more of that in the NBA today. We need more of that today. I definitely understand where a lot of you guys are coming from. I'm going to be honest, I don't watch the product as much unless LeBron is playing. A lot of you hate LeBron, but I grew up in that same area, so I got to see him, at a young age. But he's right, man. That you need that in the NBA. But yeah,
ball player, I had a little problem with him. It ended, of course, 20 years ago, but there for God, what? Well, I can't really say what I think, but
now, when you hear that about you, that he liked Irvin, didn't like Magic, how do you interpret that? How do you feel about that? You know what he's talking about.
It made me feel good. David, hey, I was a thorn in his side.
Right.
I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be go out there to kick his butt. That's what my job was, and his job was to kick mine. And so I didn't want Larry to like me. He didn't have to like me, but we both respected each other. I knew Larry could beat me if I made mistakes. If we didn't play our best game, Larry made me have sleepless nights. Right? No, he did. He had me because I was scared to death that I knew he could beat me.
Right.
And so that's what a great player does to you that you have to go up against. And not only was he great, the Celtics were great. So, and I was the same way, hopefully, in his mind when he went to sleep, thinking about me. Because I was thinking about him when I went to sleep, but that was for sure.
It's, let's forget.
That reminds me of like a meme that I saw. There's this guy sleeping in bed, and he's like looking off to the side, and then his wife or his girlfriend is laying next to him, and she's like he's probably thinking about other women, and then really the man's like thinking about like, what I wonder how high I could jump if I had big calf legs. That's the same thing with Magic. He's thinking like, man, I gotta pay Larry Bird tomorrow.
Everything else, forget the statistics, forget the friendship, how it evolved, the teams. Do you now, in your heart, believe you're the better player?
actually, I've always said that I go by success, and he's won more championships, so I give him the nod.
Oh, well, being very gentlemanly. Now, Magic Same question to you. Is Larry the better player?
I've always said that Larry was the better player.
Really?
Because he could do more, shoot from the outside, all those type of things. To us, really, at the end of the day,
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest here. After doing my research, I'm new school. Larry Bird is a better player than Magic Johnson, guys. You have to accept that. He could pass just as good. He could shoot way better. He could rebound way better. He was more of a scorer. Scoring came more easier to Larry. It was just what he did. And he did more with less. If I had to have one of them take the game-winning shot, it would be Larry 10 out of the 10 times. I just have to just be honest on that one. Larry Bird is in my GOAT tier. I have about 7, maybe 8 players in my GOAT tier. And these players, very versatile, could do a lot of different things. Not saying that Magic Johnson's not a great player, because he's obviously a great player. Obviously. He saved the league, Larry Bird and Magic. They saved the league. This league was going downhill until these two players came along. But I do have Larry being better than Magic.
Those type of things. To us, really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because what matters to me is that I played against the best. I got to know the man, Larry Bird. And that we got this friendship right now. Right. That's all that matters, because the fans are going to say, hey, Larry Bird was my man. Just like I run into a lot of Celtic fans.
Yeah.
I used to hate you.
I get that all the time.
Right? And so, but they say, I hated the Lakers, but why do we love Magic?
Yeah.
And so, but what matters is that we're friends now. We can do so many things together. I still will hate him now. If we play checkers or basketball right now, then both of us are changing to those players that we used to be, because we still want to beat each other.
You think you were the better player, seriously, don't you?
He was the better forward, and I was the better guard.
Oh, there you go. That's the perfect way of handling it. Now, tell us, this documentary is, I think, the best sports documentary I've ever seen. And it's not because of anything other than you two gentlemen and who you are, the kind of men you guys are. And one of the points that is very, well, when you have your press conference and announce that you have HIV, the infection, your reaction, tell us about your feelings.
Well, my feeling was the first time, I told my agent, I said, we got to call Larry. And I said, I want to tell him myself. Mm-hmm. And so I want to talk to him. Well, actually, we couldn't get a hold of him. Then Lon told him, and then Larry wanted to talk to me. Right. And so we were able to talk. And the best feeling, David, is when a friend supports you. And this young man came and supported me. That's what it's all about. Forget the sports, forget the championships, right. The MVP. He came to my side and supported me, and I'll never forget that. And that's the type of man Larry Bird is.
It's not. No. Gladly, it's not the way it was in those days. In those days, if you heard anything having to do with this, it seemed like an immediate death sentence.
Exactly.
And gladly, like I say, medical treatment has progressed where it's not that at all. Mm-hmm. But that's must have been what you were thinking.
Yeah, we always heard 9 years.
Right.
But I remember the day we had a game that night. I always took a nap in the afternoon. My wife woke me up and said, hey, Lon Rosen called. You need to call Magic. So when
Man, that had to be so scary, because there were so many, things said back then, that weren't true about the disease as well. But I did hear that was definitely a death sentence. It wasn't what it is today, guys, where you can take a pill, be safe from it. Nowadays, people get it, like, oh, okay. Back then, man, like this one guy, his best friend, said he thought Magic Johnson was just going to lose weight and die. And then Larry, I didn't know it was a 9-year type of thing. Didn't know that, but it was also a gay man's disease. You know, the Zed Thomas. They asked Zed Thomas about it. He said, "Well, I don't know what he does in Hollywood." And so there was a lot of things that I didn't even know. And you guys didn't like me in the comment section. I read a lot of you guys' comments. Y'all are very insightful, and y'all bring me up to speed with a lot of different things. But man, I couldn't imagine at that time getting that disease. That's like one of those things that can never happen to me type disease. And so, man, for Magic to handle it the way he did, that kudos to him.
Woke me up and said, "Hey, Lon Rosen called. You need to call Magic." So when I heard that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I can remember back my father died, and my heart just sort of, he fluttered a little bit. When I heard about Magic, it's just like I had no energy. I didn't want to. It's the first time I can ever remember not wanting to play basketball, and it had a pit in my stomach for days after. Even after I talked to him, because in my mind, 9 or 10 years, he's going to be gone. And we had the Olympics, down the road. We had things we wanted to accomplish, but it's, man, here he is.
Yeah, happily things didn't work out the way we feared. Now, I mentioned we talk about it in the introduction. The NBA changed professional basketball. Give us a couple of ideas how the game has changed because of you guys' career.
Well, I think that, the games were tape delayed when Larry and I came into championships. And I remember when we beat the 76ers when I was a rookie, the games came on at 11:30 at night. And so to put now the championships in prime time, the salaries that people make, I mean, we affected a lot of the change that is happening. And then Michael Jordan came in right after us and took it to another level as well. And
do you guys see kids playing in the league now? They say, "Oh, geez, this is the way I would have approached it," or is that the game has changed so much that your style of play doesn't exist or it can't exist?
Oh, it can exist. I mean, there's not many 6'9" point guards out there.
Yeah.
But I think what I see is there's a lot of kids come to our league and take it for granted, but there's also a lot of kids come to our league that want to get better every day, and they do the work necessary to do better and better, and they care about their communities, and they care about their team. I see a lot of that. When I first came to the league, I didn't see hardly any of that.
Right.
I think what me and Irvin did when we came in, people started watching basketball again. And our David Stern, which was our commissioner at the time, first year, came in and just took us to another level. Then you got to remember Jordan, Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton. All of us sort of came in. They came in a couple years after us. The league got good right away. So we were just happy. We didn't know any of that was going on. We just wanted to play and compete. Right. But in '84, it changed.
Yeah. But also we made passing fashionable again in the NBA.
Well, I think from a fan's standpoint, from a guy from Indiana who grew up loving and watching high school, college basketball and trying to play and so forth, the great legacy that the two of you leave is a demonstration of how to be a guy, just how to be guys, and that's invaluable. It's I know what you're thinking at home. You're thinking to yourself, geez, just like Dave and Leno. Well, I wish you could come back tomorrow and the next night and the next night, but I know you guys got to get to the theater to rehearse your big number. It's Magic Bird at the Longacre Theater. God, what a pleasure to meet you and to see you again, Magic. Thank you. Good luck with your Dodgers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with Jim Gaffigan.
Man, that was everything y'all said it would be. That was such a perfect way to end that documentary. I'm so glad I saw that because the relationship is still there. The personalities are still there. They have not changed for either one of these guys. And I'm just thinking, what happened to the league? And I think I have a good understanding what could have happened. Magic and Larry came from the same type of homes that a lot of Americans came from. You know, their dads both worked hard for what they got. They experienced hard times. They watched their fathers, mothers, people in the community work hard to obtain the things that they wanted to get. They took nothing for granted. They worked hard to get where they're getting. And I think about the other NBA players, the Isaiah Thomases. I think about, you know, Clyde, Dominique Wilkins. A lot of these players came from that same type of environment. There were morals in hard times. There was no excuses. And they put forth that effort on the NBA court. They gave it everything they had. And a lot of these NBA players, they just don't come from that type of build anymore. That's what the league is missing. A lot of these players are coming from millionaire families. They're coming with silver spoon. We're coming from a generation of a microwave generation. Like when you want something, you get it now. That's what the league is missing, man. That was a unique league. I have to admit. I'll have to give you guys that. That was a very unique league. You got your money's worth. You went out there to see people fight to obtain something they worked their whole life to get, and that was a championship. Respect. That's what the league is missing, guys. So I do totally agree with you on that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing the 92 Dream Team documentary, the What Is a Woman documentary. I'm looking at that, should be a good one. And I will be doing videos in between, Larry Bird videos, Magic Johnson videos, Isaiah Thomas, players of the past videos, just to do more research, because I love this game, man. I was pretty good myself. I mean, I was few people that could stand in front of me, and I was a heck of a defender, man. I was a good defender, man. I was taking that ball from you. But yeah, so that's the video for today, guys. I appreciate you, love you. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'm gonna get up out of here. It's JAMEENOD, boy.
It's JAMEENOD, and I'm back up in the building, giving y'all hot topics and reactions, and I'm feeling. Comment your suggestions and I got ya. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Oh my, I got another one.